Hi, this screencast is going to focus on Google Calendar for students setting reminders so they get notifications of upcoming meetings, maybe band lessons or a nurse appointment or speech therapy or something like that. And this is designed for teachers to help students. Google Calendar is very powerful, has a lot of options, so it's probably a good idea if teachers help students set these up, especially students who seem to need the reminders. One thing I'd like to point out is that Google Calendar is not used in its full version by students. Mostly students access Calendar through Classroom, and while that's tied to Google Calendar, if you click Calendar here in Google Classroom, it is only going to show you your upcoming events in Classroom, not anything that you've entered on Google Calendar itself. I know that seems a little confusing, but hopefully it'll make more sense in just a second. There's also no Google Calendar icon down here on the taskbar for students on the Chromebook. So you can access it through the launcher, the Waffle, the Hollywood Squares on most Google apps. So here it is in Classroom, in Drive, here it is, right? So you click the launcher and you can switch these icons around, just drag and drop. So Calendar is usually lower in the batting order because most people don't use it. So you just grab it and drag it up to the top so it's more accessible. Click the calendar icon and it will open your full version of Google Calendar. A couple things to notice. You can change the interface. Whatever you use last is what will load here. You can change the display. I have it set to schedule. That's how I use it on my phone. But I click this and we go to week. And I believe this is the default for students. Also, speaking of defaults, when students first open Google Calendar, they will get a little pop-up right here that says Google Calendar would like to send you notifications, allow or block. If you're going to have students setting up basically alarms for themselves, notifications, you definitely want to allow that. If you don't have allow on or you block it, they won't get the little notifications that I'm about to show you. Okay, so make sure it shows week. I think that's the easiest to do. And make sure that you allow notifications, and we can change that in the settings. Down here on the left-hand side, you'll notice the student's name is going to be listed right here. So if, it would be Jenny Miller, Cody Bender, Abby Mollick, Todd Whitman, whatever. I'm on my student Chromebook on my student account, so it's student, my very creative student name. And I have these other calendars. These are all my Google Classroom calendars. These are all the classes that I'm a member of, and all these events show up here as well, and you can see them across the top here. They are color-coded so that I know which assignment it is. So as teachers populate assignments in Google Classroom with due dates, they show up on my calendar here. All right, these are events that I've added: speech appointment and band lesson. And they're color-coded to match my student Google Calendar color, right? That light blue color. So anything that I add on here is going to show up in that color. So I'm going to put nurse appointment in here, right? And the default is 1 hour, but I can change that. I can say 1:30 to 1:45, and notifications are already included. And you'll see I have it set here so that there's a notification 5 minutes before and then 3 minutes before. And that's very important because that will generate the pop-up 5 minutes before the event occurs and then 3 minutes before the event occurs. So hopefully the student won't forget them. All right, so I have a band lesson coming up here at 11:10 to 12:10, and I have that notification set up so that hopefully that pop-up comes up so you can see what that looks like. For these, oh, there it is. So there's my notification. It said, because I'm screen recording right now, it didn't it hid the notification. I'd just click show. Students wouldn't have to do that. It would just pop up, just like you saw and heard there. Band lesson at 11:10. I'd be like, oh, great. Now I remember I have to go to band. I got to join that Zoom meeting in, 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, right? So you can see here that when I set notifications as a default, that's what will come up for everything every appointment that I put in, right? So my speech appointment tomorrow at 9 a.m., my nurse appointment at 1:30, I get a 5-minute notification, then a 3-minute notification. And you can set that up in any event. Just click on it, click the pencil to edit it, and you can add notification, and you could add a 10-minute notification. You can add as many as you want. You can also delete them, and as you delete them here, your defaults will delete as well. Whatever you have in for an event, it will default to that notification. And if you notice, the notification stays here in the lower right-hand corner until I actually click the close X to get rid of it. Okay? And then right there, notify me again in 5 minutes. I can click that, and it'll automatically do that notification as well. Okay? So that's how you set up notifications via Google Calendar. The only real drawback to this is that a lot of these appointments that I'm sure students are missing are not regular occurrences. They happen every other day or once a cycle or something like that. And the issue with Google Calendar for that is that it is actually a days of the week calendar, right? Sunday through Saturday, school days, Monday through Friday. There's another pop-up for you. See, that's exactly what it would look like for students. But the, our schedule is a 6-day cycle, so you can't easily say, well, days 1, 3, and 5, I have these, this, class that I have to remember to go to, or day 2, I have my guidance class, right? You're going to have to help students set it up on the actual calendar days when they are occurring, which can be a little bit of a process. You can do, if you have classes every other day or once every week, you can set that up in Google Calendar through settings. If that applies to you and your students, you can ask me for specific guidance on that. I don't want to get too far into the weeds on Google Calendar here. Like I said, it's a really powerful app. It does a lot of things. Can be a little bit overwhelming, especially to students who've never used it. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know.